we're investors who, as per Jochen's discussion, we see this as an opportunity. And we see the risks that are being created by business as usual in the world as a huge opportunity for investors to step in and be able to move the market in a way that's actually beneficial to the planet and people. And so a simple definition that we work with is that impact investing is an investment approach that intentionally seeks to create financial return and measurable positive social and/or environmental impact. And I think as we go on the panel today, we're going to explore that a little bit deeper with some examples. So I'll end it right there.
Yeah, maybe before we go into intentionality, it's important to explain that impact investors do want to make money and impact, not one or the other. And Lisa and I, in collaboration with Sonnen Capital, have published a report about 1.5 years ago that proves, in the terminology of modern portfolio theory, that you can actually create the 100% impact portfolio across asset classes and have significant impact. So if you look into this report, then we actually use industry benchmarks on the financial side to try to convince the establishment that this is not only doable, but that anybody else can copy it and also be successful in impact and financial return.
We have launched, our family office has launched 2 years ago a fund, Scopus, which is an impact investment fund. And Lisa Hall, who is in charge of Scopus, is here. I see her, and Dimple Sani as well. So both ladies are here in the audience. And I think we are very proud that we have such a strong team of investing on our behalf in the impact investment industry. And I think, it shows that obviously I've made very small steps in the last 12 years, but now others are really following in and making bigger steps, which is great.
The first 10 years were pretty tough, but the last 5 years have been full of joy. And why is that? Because more people, I'll tell you, the biggest news, wonderful thing that happened, 2008. That was a boon to impact investors. Thank goodness for 2008 and 2009. All the folks that showed up at SOCAP, dazed, stunned, out of jobs, were looking for a different way to take the energy that they had around the marketplace and reinvent themselves, a lot of millennials. And I think we're seeing the results of that. We're seeing a lot of new product come on board. We're seeing women in my age group and millennials very interested in impact investing, because we see we're always thinking about the long term, about our families. So I do think that the last 5 years have been a terrific boon to the impact industry, not only here in Europe, but I think around the world, which is why we have a global membership.
Yeah, one of the challenges that impact investors have is exit. And obviously you're looking as an investor, when you do your investment, your due diligence, you usually always look at what would be a potential exit be. But in impact investing is much more difficult because the market hasn't really been developed in that sense. So because of that, Mark Campanale and also Pradeep Yeti, they started with an initiative called the Social Stock Exchange back in 2008. And they came to me and we discussed it. And to me, it was, again, similar to responsibility. It was sort of a project where you thought, this probably doesn't really go anywhere. And so it's now 2015, and since January of this year, the Social Stock Exchange is a regulated exchange in the UK. And it's a platform through which a company can list, social businesses can list, and also can delist or can run an exit. And we can attract institutional investors, we can attract private investors, etc. So it's actually the entry. The Social Stock Exchange is the entry into the public finance, the public capital markets, and it is very much subscribed by the British government. David Cameron actually launched what we then also called the Social Stock Exchange in 2014. But okay, these things take time, so we became active in 2015. And Big Society Capital, which is actually a government initiative, which actually was launched at the time under the Gordon Brown government, but obviously the Tories, they loved that idea, so they took it on, they really sort of capitalized it with £600 million. And Big Society Capital is our cornerstone investor. It's also represented on the board. So we have a lot of support from that side.
Okay, just to finish, yeah, I just want to look forward with our panelists as we close here today, and we're at the Tagesspiegel. So just thinking ahead 10 years' time, if it's 2025 and there is a headline in the Tagesspiegel about climate change and impact investing, what would you like that to be?
Well, I took it as an opportunity to look up headlines, and I Googled it. And so I rewrote one frequently occurring one that occurred, I think, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. So here is the new headline. New data shows reversal of global warming.